Hi everyone. So our lecture today is on transcribing. So you have this recorded spoken interaction of the class, and then what you need to do next is you have to transcribe it. So transcribing has always been a method that has been problematic to many researchers because it is very difficult to represent the reality as accurately as possible. Because when you want to transcribe a spoken discourse, for example, in the classroom, for example, there will be actions like body gestures, all this. How do you actually include all this? And then there will be rising intonation, a pause, silence. How do we transcribe all these things? So that's why it becomes a little bit problematic. So there are two types of transcription. We have a broad summary of the spoken interaction, or we can also have a narrow one whereby it consists of highly detailed description. So basically, the broad one captures the essence of what was said and ignores the fine details, while the narrow one will capture all the fine details, the stress syllable, pause, rising intonation, and overlapping speech. So I will give you examples of the broad transcription and the narrow one. So if we're going for the narrow transcription, all right, then we will need this one, this transcription system by Van Leer 1988 and Johnson 1995. There are a lot of other transcription system being developed, so you can just choose any transcription system that you prefer. But looking at this question, how detailed should the transcription be? This depends on you, whether you want it to be very detailed or you want it to be broad. It's entirely up to you. It depends on what you want to find out. All right. If your intention is just to look at turn taking, teacher first, then student, and then like the one that we did for the task that I gave you, looking at the modes. So that one can be a broad transcription. But if you're looking at maybe the teacher's intonation, or the teacher's how the teacher get the students to participate through extended waiting time, maybe. So you need to have more detailed descriptions. All right, but how detailed it should be depends on what you want to find out from the analysis. Okay, so this is the transcription system that we are using. What we have here is some very general symbols, like T represents teacher, L learner, L1, L2 if you can identify the learner, L if the learner is not identified, LL if several learners answer the questions, for example, at the same time. Alright, and then you have this symbol here to show overlapping or simultaneous utterances by more than one learners. And then you have brackets here to show overlap between teacher and learner. And if the speech, like both teacher and learners, they speak at the same time. And then this symbol here, equal, shows the turn taking. Turn continues, or one turn follows another without any pause. There's no pause between one turn to another. And then the three dots shows there's a pause of 1 second or less that uses this symbol, the three dots. Okay. And if there's a silence, okay, the length of the silence is given in seconds. 4 seconds of silence. Rising intonation of question or others, we use the question mark symbol. Emphatic speech or falling intonation. Emphatic speech means the speech that involves emotion. So you use exclamation mark like this. This is the thing when you want, if your focus is on tone or intonation or emphatic speech. So it's very important to have this. Maybe your research or you are analyzing how the teacher actually persuade learners to speak. So this may be one of the aspects of the transcription that you need to have. Unintelligible means you're not able to make out what the speech what the leaders said or the teacher said. So it's unintelligible. So we put the seconds here. How many seconds the speech was unintelligible. And then if you have, the names of the people, you can use capital letters for it. And if you want to put in some comments, you can put it in bold, like teacher organizes group, teacher points to the board, teacher asks a student to help. So you can put them in bold. All right. So let's look at this example one. This example one is the detailed transcription. So you can see this the numbers the line numbers are stated here for easy reference, so that we can say like rising tone line 7. All right, so easy to identify and discuss. All right, and then the symbols here, teacher, learners. L1 means able to identify the learner. Okay, LL means learners speaking at the same time. And then Paul, if you're able to identify who the learner is. All right. Okay, if you look at like this one, all right, teacher. The teacher responded in 2 lines, all right, but we do not have to repeat T here, but we put a line here. However, if for example the teacher the sentence here continues to the second line here, we do not have to put the line number. We don't have an example here, but I'll show you later. All right. If there are 2 responses here, then we put line numbers. If it's a continuation of this particular line, okay, until the second line, it's the same response. We don't have the number here, so it's still number 4, line 4. All right. Okay. So T for teacher. Okay, this symbol here, you can see here, it shows turn continuous or one turn follow without any pause. So if you put this symbol here, you have to put the symbol here as well. That means these 2, after L1, L2 immediately speaks. There's no pause. All right. Okay, and then here a question. Okay, for the question mark. LL here to show simultaneous utterance by more than one learner, and then you can see the brackets there to show there's overlap between teacher and learner, and you have to highlight that this overlap happens in both situations. So here you have to have the brackets, and you also need brackets here, because simultaneously or overlap between teacher and learner, both say the word sang at the same time. All right. So the question mark here again, it's a question. It's not a question, but it's a rising intonation. Okay. Okay. Again, this symbol shows simultaneous utterance by more than one learner, and then this 4 here indicates 4 seconds of silence. The 3 dots here indicates the pause of 1 second or less, and the question mark here is rising intonation. Then rising intonation as well here. Oh no, this is a question. And 2 seconds here to show an unintelligible speech for 2 seconds. Alright. Okay. So the unintelligible speech, there's a bracket, and then the seconds given in the bracket. Okay, all right. So this is taken from the symbols given here. All right, so you have to follow the symbols. Right, that is if you want to transcribe it with details. However, if you feel that you just want to do a broad transcription because you just want to look at the modes, for example, so you can just do a very broad transcription like this. You still have the line numbers, you have the indication of who produces the utterance, right? And then, but you do not have all those symbols, those elaborate and detailed symbols. All right, so we have example 2 and we have example 3. All right, so this one is being bold to show that there's actions happening here. All right, like point to the picture on the board, take out a puppet from a board, laughing. All right, so basically, so we have two types, broad transcription and narrow transcription. What I want you to do is you can actually choose some of the symbols in the transcription system if you want to use like the general ones. If you want to use a pause, you want to use rising intonation, is up to you. All right, however, for your assignment 1 and 2, what I want is for you to use you are free to decide whether you would like to use the symbols in detail or not. I prefer you use the broad transcription, all right, which is given in example 2 and 3, because that is more that's easier for you to come up with. All right, so however, if you prefer to use some details in these symbols to show more detailed transcription, it's fine. But for that assignment, you can use the broad transcription. Okay, that's it, people. All the best with the transcription. Thank you.